Alright, doing a VOD here for Multi-Zero. I believe your name is Ian just based on your in-game tag, so I may refer to you as either one. It just probably Ian will be easier since it's your tag in the game as well. So the first thing I just want to go over, the most important thing for you to climb are these four things. So we're going to go over just briefly these here. So consistency is the first thing. And the most important thing with being consistent is genuinely sticking to a very small champion pool. So I recommend, since you're really starting to grow as a player, is to stay with three champions um, at the most, because you'll get a lot more consistent at them. If one of them gets banned, you still have the other two to pick from. So we'll just look at your past 7 days. These three champions, Garen, York, and Urgot. I really do not recommend Nasus because he is a scaling champion, and that means you're relying on your teammates way too much. And if you want to actually consistently get better and climb, you need to carry yourself. And picking something that's that late game of a champion is going to be an issue. So these three champions I would recommend well over him. Let's go look at your previous seasons as well here real fast just to see. Okay, this is a newer account leveled up to 31. Okay, so yeah, these three champions all day. I would recommend just consistently sticking to these three champions. You seem to having most success on Garen and Urgot, so those can be your main two. Your KDA on Urgot is really, really strong, so that's a good sign. Um, Urgot is probably the strongest of the three in the aspect of the pro scene. York would be second, and then Garen is probably the simplest of the champions, so he'd be the easiest to become very consistent with, because his mechanics would be a lot easier. Um, the next three things are actually in-game mechanics. The farming obviously is a big issue for a lot of lower ELO players. They always have really poor farm. They're always just trying to take weird trades when they don't need to. They're not recognizing when they level up versus when the enemy, your lane opponent, levels up. So you could be taking bad trades when they're leveling up for free. Um, just things of that nature. And then map awareness is really how you make big plays, especially just in the sense if you're getting ganked and you know the jungler's there because you have good map awareness, then you're going to waste that jungler's time, and that's a big advantage for your team on the other side of the map. Even though you're not directly benefiting from it, your team will be. So map awareness, you need to really make it a habit every 5 seconds, basically, to look at your mini map, um, and your just the consistency of you at least not dying to ganks will go up if you take teleport, which I did not look here and see. It looks like you take teleport. Then you can make easier teleport plays as well to help out the side lanes. Um, and the timing of your teleports will be a lot cleaner too. Spacing is per champion based on their auto attack range, spell ranges, all of that. So we'll go into the training tool real fast, and I'll just pick I'll pick Urgot actually, so we can go over that real fast, and then we'll watch some of your gameplay from the footage you showed me. I actually think I'm going to take the one that's I saw you have a newer video up, so I'm probably just going to pull from that one. So but yeah, consistency, you're farming, focusing on when to farm, when to trade, is very important in winning your lanes. Especially Urgot is a very good duelist. He can outduel a lot of champions, so you can harass with your Q a lot. A big problem with him though is his shotgun legs. You can easily push your lane, so you need to learn how to manipulate um, how they're firing at the creeps basically. So this is what your spacing is. You can hover. Well, I guess they don't do that anymore. Okay, so for spacing for your spells though, you can see the actual ranges. So your Q, this is how far you can shoot your Q. So once you're in lane, you can get really good at shooting at its max distance. So it's not doing this, like it's dragging you because you're clicking out of its range. If you click in its range, it's going to shoot automatically, and then you can continue moving. Another thing to really get start doing a lot more often is just this, moving around a lot so you're not predictable in where you're going to be, so you can dodge skill shots easier, you can still trade back and forth, you can do everything you need to with the champions. So let me bind and go up there. But spacing for you for this is these. I know there's a way that you can show the auto attack range. Is this it? Nope. Used to be a way I could show you the circle around your champion, and it used to just be hovering over this, but I guess not. Oh, and that's another thing. I don't know if you play, I didn't pay attention to your thing yet, if you play with lock cam or unlocked. Unlocked is a lot better. You just have to get really good at using your spacebar. Just tapping it, it'll center your keys. So with your shotgun legs, if you're going to auto attack, you don't want to hit multiple at a time unless they're both going to die. So you would position accordingly so it doesn't push the wave. So right now it's 3 and 3, but the wave is pushed to his side already because of your shotgun legs. So this is the hard part about Urgot, is he just naturally pushes the wave. So like even me just using the Q there is pushing the wave. But so anybody in a solo lane, the first wave and then the first melee that dies in the second wave gives you level 2. So you need to be really aware of that no matter what. Whenever you're in the lane, if they're going to hit level 2 first or if you're going to hit level 2 first, it really matters. Something else you need to pay attention to on the map is immediately figuring out where the enemy jungler spawns, because if they start on this side of the map, there's a new, this is very important if you're blue side. The efficient jungling path right now is just clearing your red side and then ganking top or mid lane. So if you know that he starts top side, you pushing your wave means you want to get a ward out here earlier just to be safe. So if you push your first wave so it crashes and resets under turret, then it's not as big of a deal because you need to get wards out. But you don't want to, you want to do your best to keep the wave in the middle of the lane here. And then landing your E for an aggressive play. This is why you need to know the spacing, because if he's standing here, you want to be able to do it at the very tip of it, basically, so he doesn't know you're going to do it. If you have your jungler coming, you need to set up ganks appropriately too, so you're not giving it away by just going too early as well. You need to let the jungler come and position basically, and then you start where you can toss him back, and then he's pinched between the two of you. So just your spacing in general. I'm really surprised that it doesn't show the ring anymore. Wouldn't you, so you know how far your auto attack range is? Because each champion's different. Obviously, his is a shorter. Oh, I guess when you hold in the attack range move. So here's his auto attack range. This is what I wanted. This is my attack move button. So this is the distance of his auto attack. So this is the spacing you need to auto champion or minion. So your spacing should be appropriate in the wave to, you want to last hit it when it's at its last moment, basically, like that, instead of trying to hit it beforehand or queuing it beforehand, because if you queue it ahead of time, it's going to naturally push the wave this way. So watch, if I queue this thing before it's at its last hit too, it's actually creating a smaller push towards his side because I didn't last hit it at the last moment. You just have to practice farming, like go in the actual practice tool and practice your farming. So when it's at the very last moment, you last hit it, so it creates less of a push. So you're creating less of a chance of you putting yourself at a disadvantage. And a lot of players that you'll be playing against will do the opposite, and then it'll slowly push towards your side, which is a big advantage for you because it's easier to set up ganks. It's easier for you to duel them. Say you're in a matchup you don't really understand, like Kennen does pretty well into Urgot, then you can just kind of let him push towards you so you can um, just sit there and farm and get your levels. Because all you need to do once you become a better player is just make sure you're getting your farm and gold and experience, and then you'll make a big impact in the team fights. And then you can look for 1v1 duels and everything along those lines too when it's appropriate. You need to learn matchups too to understand if um, you are like use these websites here. UGG, excuse me, UGG is a good one where you can just look up. We'll look up Urgot. So you can look up Urgot's counters, and it just shows you based on the overall stats of the champion who has good matchups versus him. So these are the champions Urgot's really good versus in lane, and this is who's good versus him in the lane. So if there's a Nico top, Urgot has a really hard time versus her. So that would be a matchup where you know you just want to kind of farm it out. So if you go here, your win rate. So Silas, you dumpster, and then if you go to the flip side though, these are the ones you really struggle versus. So these are the kind of things you would need to figure out so you can see the Kennen one's actually pretty even. So you can win it, but he wins it like the slightest more than Urgot does. But these are the matchups you would want to learn, so you know not to try to take a 1v1 duel versus them because they just generally beat Urgot overall. And this is the gold and experience and kill difference it shows at the markers. So some of these like Mordekaiser, they're pretty dead even on kills. Because you can just kind of stay safe in the lane, but it's showing that at 15 you'll be at a gold disadvantage by like basically one short sword, so or broadsword, whatever it's called. So we can get into some of your gameplay now. Oops, I already had it rolling. Whoops. So you're playing Garen this game. It's pinging me. Sorry, I'm setting up a scrim. So you're playing Garen this game, that's good. Since you're by yourself right now, you don't want to stand in that bush just in case something bad happened. Just stand in this bush or stand in the mouth of this opening over here. Just so you're safer in case they all try to come invade randomly on you, or if they come down river, you're just in a vulnerable spot. So, and then running up river like this too is can be dangerous if your lane opponent just sitting there waiting to trade if it is a bad matchup. So let's pause this real fast and we're going to go look at your matchup real fast and see what it shows for Shen. Just out of curiosity, I'm pretty sure that his W would actually be pretty good versus you. It's an even lane though. So you're pushing already, so need to be aware of that. Your passive though is a big advantage for you in this matchup. So if you just go back to that first trade that you just did, literally, how do I go back 15 seconds on this? I don't remember. We'll just go back to it. So your first trade, you could have easily went auto Q and then backed up, and you would have had a better trade because you didn't have any creeps at the time that you were autoing him. So you could have easily comboed him with your Q as well to get extra damage off, and then your passive in lane is going to help you out significantly in comparison to Shen. And then you start off with a small advantage. So anytime you can get small advantages, like generally the Shens start with Q. So your Q, if he doesn't time his Q right, whenever you take your trade, Like, you know he's going for this creep right now, so you can easily auto queue him. So right, you should have queued right afterwards because it easily would have procced. Even if you take some creep damage from the casters back here, your passive will kick in, and once you get out of their range, and the trade will be in a huge advantage for you. So now the wave is pushing towards um, his side currently, which is something you need to note. This is what I was talking about in the previous thing as well. Looks like he's thinning it out. I'm not sure why you're now backing up though, because you easily could still be trading with him like you did previously, and you could also be. Um, so now it's actually pushing back to your side. You're letting him take control of the lane when you should just be evening it out because you want to keep it in the middle as much as possible here. You're perfectly fine. He's not hitting level 2 or anything right now either, which you should be aware of. So you're missing farm for no reason there. He started with E too, which is really surprising. So now we're one creep behind right now because we didn't thin out the first wave. We just backed up and let him take control. So we have to kill this minion and this minion to get level 2. He only has to kill one minion. So now he made a mistake of using his E right there because he should recognize he's hitting level 2 first, and he should have his E ready for when he hits level 2 first. But it's going to be on cooldown now, so his aggression's going to be a little bit off. Did I miss a minion? How do you have... There's still 4 casters. Am I losing my mind? Okay. Take the trade. Now the wave is slightly pushing. Now it's even because he got hit that. So yeah, really gotta... your trading needs to just be a little cleaner because you could easily auto queue him a bunch of times when he's just out of position. And when you run up and charge at him like that, you're letting him time his Q. His Q has a shield to it, so it's negating your damage. So he's actually not losing the trade when he should be. If you just basically hide it a little better. Like he should be trying to he should be trying to auto this minion right now, and he's going for a trade. He's just giving up farm. The lane is pushing towards his side, and this is a mistake by him to want to take the trade. But luckily you're standing in the creep, so it's a benefit to him. But um, now you're in a kind of poor spot because of the bad trade. You didn't ward already, so you're not considering where the jungler was, and now you're getting ganked already. So these are just like you're having to use your flash when you could easily had a ward out there already. You got to remember most common jungle paths for lower ELOs is literally start on the side with the bottom lane and then work their way up here. So around 3-minute mark, he'll be on your side, basically, somewhere on the top side of the map. So you need to have a ward out by like 240. 240 is a good mark, 245, something like that, to have your ward out there. If you watch your mini map in the beginning of the game, though, to see if the bottom lane comes late to lane, a lot of times that's just it's a tail sometimes that they just bluff that. So now you're in a bad spot. You don't have flash or anything. You just need to actually go back to base because your wave is screwing you over now. This is pushing towards his side. So you're in a really, really poor spot. So not taking the full trades you could have at level 1. And look, you're still pushing up lane right now without putting your ward out there. And the Udyr can easily come from underneath of you if you wanted to. Luckily, you have the minions right now. You still need to go ward though. You still have your trinket. If you're gonna stay, which I still don't recommend, yeah, so you're just gonna end up dying here because you're not taking the ward. Hopefully you're, nope. Yeah, you gotta just be more aware, like they're always gonna come back to your lane, especially if you use your flash. That's why you have to have markers of when you want to ward. You need to do a better job of keeping track of where the enemy jungler is as well. So, and now even worse to this is actually a mistake as well. Because if I was the enemy jungler, I'd still be on your side, and I can return right back to your lane because you don't have flash still. So you should be since your wave is pushing and it's getting stuck right now, you should be looking to try to make a TP play somewhere else. If not, you should be asking your jungler to come help you get this unstuck so the wave can reset back the middle so you can at least be safe. Udyr can easily come gank you again right now because you're stuck on this side of the wave without flash. And it's easy for him to set up because he has the Shen taunt as well. So, okay, you're gonna go ward now. It's good. You have 2 trinkets. I was gonna say you should be able to get 2 wards in there. You should actually ward, since you're top side, your ward there is fine, and then your second ward should be right on this camp because it's covering both ways that he's gonna come to you. If he comes through the red side to you, you'll see it from the Tribush ward, and then the second one on the camp, you'll know if he's there because he's clearing the camp. So he can still get to you if you're stuck at this turret by going this path right here. You'll see him late. Shen will be able to taunt you and then be able to get onto you. So just got to be aware of that. So now if you look at the minion waves, this is where it's something you need to pay attention to too. So right now this is actually pushing back towards you because of the turret. So you just kind of want to chill out because you don't have flash still and you don't have teleport anymore either. So you're going to have to sacrifice some farm right now. I know I talked about getting farm, but you need to sacrifice farm right now just to ensure that you're safe because he still has this entire path as well to get to you. If you stay up here too far, he can still come through the Krug's way and still get to you because Udyr is really fast matched with the Shen taunt. I don't think Shen has flashed yet, so he can easily flash taunt you as well. So you should just be letting this push back to you. This is good. Good job backing up. And then there is clear markers. This is actually really surprising. I didn't notice this till right now. His red buff is still there? How comes it didn't show whenever you placed a ward originally though? That's got to be a mistake because the second buffs don't spawn till either 6:45 or 7:30. So now he's got a level advantage on you too. This is something very important for you to recognize. And if you see where your next minion wave is coming, you actually want, if he backs up at all, you actually want to try to create a freeze here. So if he backs up, you're going to actually pretend you're going to back up, and if he backs up towards he's retreating the recall, you're going to step forward then and hold the minions right here basically until this next wave right here comes and crashes beneath you. So then it creates a freeze, and then all you're going to do is you're going to go kill the casters and let the you're going to kill a couple of the casters and let the wave basically rest here so it freezes. So you should be not letting the turret take control of this. You should be freezing this right here because you're going to take some damage, but your passive will come into play. Plus you have the Doran shield. So you should be holding the minion wave right here, and then letting this next wave come up and hold it here basically for you, and then you're going to thin it out. So if you look at this minion wave where yours is, his minion wave's in the same position. His is right here then. It's right here. So his is going to naturally meet right here, and then once your minion wave comes and crashes into this line, it'll freeze it if you kill some of the caster minions, which is the ones that do the damage. This is the tanks, obviously. This is what does all the damage, creep versus creep. So you should actually be trying to create a freeze right here. Okay, and then still right now the wave is actually is in a good spot for you because these 2 minions are relatively low and they have all their health. So your wave is actually going to stay generally in this spot. So you're actually in a good spot right now without flash. Just make sure you're last hitting it closer to that. That was too early of a last hit. Like it needs to be. That was good. That one was really good. So see, it's still in your favor. You still have the 1 extra melee minion from his side, so it's going to create more damage onto your cannon minion first, so that means it's still slowly pushing towards your side, which is what you want right now because you don't have flash or teleport. And Shen's mid lane right now, just so you know. So you're perfectly fine. Since Shen is mid, you have options, but since you don't have flash, you definitely would want to try to hold this here as long as possible, because you want to just put him at a bad spot so Zen can come gank for you as well. So good job. That was a really good last hit. That's the kind of last hit you need to do. And see, this is where we're talking about map awareness. You should know where Shen is. He just showed on the mid lane. You have no pressure on you right now. And Shen just showed mid. You should know exactly where he's at. He ran this side, this way too, after he left mid lane. So every 5 seconds, you need to start looking at your mini map. You need to make a consistent thing that you're doing 100% of the time. So now it's pushing back to him. So you need to push this as fast as you can because you don't want this to get stuck on his side now. You want this to reset off the turret. So as soon as it starts pushing back to his side, you need to recognize that and fucking, he's not in lane with you, just hard shove it so it resets and it'll come back to the middle of the lane. Because if he shows up now and the minions basically, yeah, look, it's going to be sitting here, you'll kill some. Yeah, you want to hard shove as fast as you can now. So you should be autoing. Yeah, there you go. Good. And a goal for you should be to try to work up to 7 or 8 farm per minute, which is a decent goal. So by seven on the map right now, you should have 49 CS. So you're a little bit below right now. And if you're going for the 8 CS, you'd be even lower. So you need to be at 56. So the professional scene is a lot higher. It's like 10 or 11 per minute out of the 12 possible or 13 possible. Um, so everyone at the lower ELOs, they have really poor creep scores. So you're at 43. This is what I'm referring to. So now this is what he just did too. Now it's pushing back to you. This is what you want. So you need to be asking your team, did Shen use ult? But you weren't aware that he was mid lane. So you need to be asking your team, did Shen use TP or ultimate? So you're aware of that. You need to be tracking that information as well. You need to be telling your team you don't have TP. You need to be telling them you don't have flash, that kind of shit. Just ping your own stuff. And it's pushing back towards you, so this is good. Yep, let him know he's missing. You should also be hitting tab and pushing, clicking on his level to let them know if he is 6 since he has a global ultimate. Um, just everything along those lines. Okay, so you know he's 6. You have a level on him now. You should be looking at his items right now too, which I'm having a hard time seeing. There we go. So he has items on you because you have 1500 gold in your pocket. So you actually would lose this duel even though you had a level on him at the time. He just has an item advantage on you. So that's something you need to be aware of too. So always constantly looking at their items. He has the Cinder. I can't even remember what it's called right now. It's part of Sunfire Cape and Cinderhulk. Remember, like when you're at a disadvantage right now too, and you're only at a disadvantage because of the items, you should be focusing on farm right now. See, you're getting hard crushed right now because he has an item advantage on you. You have to pay attention to item advantage, and the only reason why he has an item advantage right now is the gank from Udyr, plus you have 1600 gold in your pocket. So you just have to be more aware of that ahead of time. And now you should not regenerate the full hit points either, especially on Garen, because you're passive. You can easily have 1200 hit points and then run out of lane because your passive is going to bring you back up to full hit points by the time you get to lane. So your time efficiency is another thing that you, especially on Garen because of your passive, you easily could be getting better at, is just having better time efficiency. So. And the Xin Zhao was fine to take minions there, but he shouldn't have fucking killed all of them like that because now it created a push to the other side. Udyr took the blue buff apparently. Yep. So for your laning, definitely need to pay attention to where the enemy jungler starts, getting your trinket out into the map sooner, paying attention to level advantages or disadvantages, item disadvantages, because right now he has two short swords. The Cinder, um, I don't think you'll need a TP here. Your team should have this, so that's a good TP though, right behind them. So that was really good. Uh, You have to, I'm pretty sure it has an execute marker over it now, so it'll have a red X over her level when you can execute her. So try not to do it beforehand, because you could have just auto-ed one more time, and then you remember the spacing we're talking about? Your auto attack range is shorter than your alt range, so it's better for you to auto attack one last time there. And you should also be, here, let's go back real fast and I can show you. So your TP actually was really good, because you got the one behind it. I thought you were looking to do the one in the pit. So I'll pause it when we get here though. So while you have the actual your E going, your spin, you can't do it as much. But as soon as she flashed, you should be flashing with her, but you need to flash auto, and then you need to attack move basically. So you're gonna flash to basically right next to her, auto attack, and then immediately click to walk, and then auto attack her, and then alter. You'll see a red indicator come above her the level there basically, and then you know it's going to be a kill. So then you wouldn't have to have this happen where you use your alt and she lives with like one thing. So you easily could have auto attacked her there and then alted and she dies 100%. Just remember the spacing of your spells and your auto attack range is massive. Auto attack range is shorter, so you could easily get the auto attack off first, and then when she steps a little further away from you in the time that you're auto attacking, your alt is still in range. You kill her with that. So you need to really pay attention to that with all of your champions, the spacing of your spells in auto attack range, and then also attack moving a lot too, where you're auto attacking, and if you're being the aggressor, then you're going to walk forward in the time that basically your auto attacks on cooldown, because you do 0.73 auto attacks per second. So you have time to basically move. There's empty space where your champion can't do anything if you're not casting a spell. So you move in a more advantageous position. So you need to start implementing that. It's just going to help you with trading a lot better too. You can also do that as you're retreating if you're trying to set up a gank as well. So just keep that in mind. So now the same thing we talked about before. I was just going to say, if your minion wave was coming here, that means his minion wave was in the same area. So there's the next wave coming right here. So your wave is going to freeze basically right here, which is good. If he's gone, it's good to ping him like you just did. Remember, you should be letting them know that this is gone. And since it is a global alt champion like this, yeah, it's perfectly fine just to hard shove him in. So if he does try to TP or alt somewhere else, he's going to lose gold and experience off that turret. So you should just be warding, um, putting your pink down. Okay. He's perfectly fine. You should actually just be denying him. Um, I guess it's going to work out if he overstays. Yeah, so he just overstayed too. Yeah, so you ended up wasting time here. So this is time efficiency again. So instead of chasing down river like that, the Vagar should have been perfectly fine, which he was. Your job then is to gain experience in gold and make Shen lose that. So you basically shove these minions into turrets, so he's losing Golden experience. You should have put your yellow trinket in the tri-bush, your pink ward in that river, then you're perfectly safe. I understand you're looking to see if they're doing the objective, but since you're playing versus a global all champion here too, you should just be keeping your um, sides protected with vision. So pink ward should have been in this bush and then the yellow over there. And then you should just be crashing minion waves off the turret when he's not there like that, especially when you see where he's at. Um, because you can gain such a big level advantage on him and a gold advantage. It's incredible. So you can kill this one still because you have the cannon. So you're just taking extra damage. You're doing a good job wanting to freeze here, but you could have killed that melee because this is still, you can just hold the cannon minion and it's still going to cause a push towards your side if you wanted to. So we have no idea though if he is alt or TP though. That's the problem. We need to be timing that stuff in the chat. So you know how long TP is. It's 5 minutes. His alt is a little over 2 minutes, I believe, at rank 1. Then it's like a minute and 30 at rank 2 when he hits level 11. So again, he's not here. Yeah, just fucking push this in and make him lose experience. Make sure you're getting the gold though. Yeah, you don't want to miss those creeps for free. Okay. So he's mid again right now. So this is just all day you should be, yeah, just taking this. You should be aware of where he walks to and everything along those lines. So yeah, this is good. So now you should just be focusing on the minions now, and then you can go reset because you can finish your black cleaver right now too, which is very important. So you should just be worrying about getting these minions and then going back to base to finish your item. Anytime you have an item spike, you just want to finish it because then you have a big power spike. So you should just be going back to base right now to get your item. Mid lane's not there. The Fizz is dead. Udyr's in mid lane, so you're perfectly safe. It's only Shen pushing. He has his Sunfire cape now, so he can push it a little faster. But you should just be looking to get your item because you're not going to beat him in this 1v1 until you finish the item. Because he actually doesn't have Sunfire yet. He has Tiamat, so he does a lot more damage than he normally would. So see, yeah, this is time efficiency again. You should just be already coming back from base with your item. And this guy's gonna die to him for free. Because of the W, yep. And you just need to let him die now because he's making a mistake trying to fight there. So time efficiency is a big thing too. Just make sure if you can get a big piece of your item, you need to not sit on the gold for so long because you're like 300-400 gold above what you needed for the black cleaver because you only need 950. So you're 600 gold above. So you 600 gold worth of time efficiency in the field for too long, where you could beat him in the duel 1v1 if you had black cleaver. But instead now he's creating slight advantage. He's going to overstay, so you may actually be able to get the kill on him. This is his mistake right now, is overstaying. So you should be looking to make him go back right now too. So luckily he is just leaving, but Udyr's at your blue buff right now too. You should be reacting to this immediately. You should be going down there. Veigar's responding. There you go. You should just get your ult off. Nice job. You could have reacted about 3 seconds earlier, but it was still a good job going down there. Just remember, every 5 seconds you should be checking in on your mini map, not like just constantly, because you want to be aware of stuff is. And look at your passive. Your passive is amazing. You're gaining 22 hit points per second back right now. So this is why Garen taking small trades in a 1v1 scenario is really strong, because you can regenerate most of it back by the next time your cooldowns are up. So just keep that in mind. So at this point too, he doesn't have an offensive. You win this because he doesn't have an offensive ultimate. Yours is on cooldown. You still win this 1v1 now because you finished your item. And you just need to be aware of like power spikes and everything. Like if you have your ultimate now, you easily kill him 1v1. So you just need to be aware of that more often. So basically, yeah, you should be trying to create a freeze, forcing him to come to you right now. And when you have 15 seconds, you have your ultimate, you can easily kill him. But you need to be aware Udyr just ran to the Herald side right now. So Udyr is below you. So we'll see if you take the fight or not. Up Udyr's mid now, so you can easily take this trade with your ult. You should be able, once his stuff's on cooldown, you should be able to take that fight. Because you have your ult now. And remember, it's like everyone has cooldowns, so his shield cooldown is like 9 seconds as well. So yeah, now you can kill him. No, you should keep you could have easily killed him there. His shield's on cooldown, he had everything, his W's on cooldown, you easily could kill him right there. You gotta know the when you can trade and when not to trade basically. So like when you were level 8 or 9 and you were, so you should be hard shoving this too now because he has ultimate basically. I'm pretty sure at this point he may even have TP and you want to make him miss experience and you have 1600 gold again. So you want to basically be crashing this so you can go buy and then look to make a TP play with the team somewhere. Because he's going to try to TP or ult somewhere right now. And you could easily have taken this turret when he was out of lane if you just hard shoved this already. So remember, map awareness. If you just realize that you forced him out of lane right there, then you want to hard shove this, especially since you have demolish. You want to get this turret, go back to base, spend your money, and look to use your TP offensively to help your team out. So you should immediately go to back to base. You have 2200 gold. You're way too long in the field now. They're in our bottom jungle as well. So, and you can easily kill him. Udyr's just showed in the bottom jungle. You could have fought him there if you wanted to, but you really need to. Your time efficiency for back timing is really poor. You need to do a better job of going back um, at better times. And then especially like right now you have TP, you can make a TP play right there. So yeah, hopefully you do. Hopefully your team follows up. You should be pinging them beforehand that you're going to, so they start walking. So now they know you're there because it shows the TP on the map regardless. So you should be communicating with them ahead of time that you're gonna try to make that play. So now we just use TP without anything beneficial happening from it. So that's a big advantage for them. So you could easily go get wards up here. Good job. And then go, yeah, rotate down. You're perfectly fine taking the stray. This is good. There you go. Good job. You should immediately be turning to get the minion wave though, because you want to push the wave, because these guys are chasing too far. You want to push this wave faster because you have the numbers advantage. Fizz is on your left hand side now, constantly looking at the mini map with the team. Their wave clear is not good at all as a team either. So if you guys had a minion wave, yeah, you should just be looking to reset again. You have 1200 gold, so you should be looking to reset. You should be telling your team reset to buy because there's still Herald up, blue buff just came up, Crab in the top river's up. Like you can get your item, perfect. Get another pink ward, good job. You can buy blue trinkets sometimes too. Just depends on their type of team composition. They have one assassin, so mid lane should be the one that buys the blue trinket along as the AD carry because they need to track the assassins if they are ahead, basically. Because they can just bush camp and get a pick really easily because the lack of vision. Okay, Shen's over there now. This is your team overstaying. Um, ooh, nice. They got two out of that though, or three out of it, so it's good. So now, yeah, you can easily, you should be calling for, or Herald's not up. Never mind. I'm sorry, it's 22. I was gonna say you should be calling for Herald. Damn, I don't realize how far in the game it is. So you can easily push this. You know, three of them are dead. Shen's up and Morg's up, and they're both showing mid lane. So you can easily push one more wave and then back up. You can push this wave easily. Denying jungle's perfectly fine too. You should be trying to deny the Shen. Shen's your responsibility, so you should be having it crash into the turret, so he's missing the experience. So just remember, anytime you can deny him, you just missed creeps technically, because the jungle camps would still be there. And now you're overextending right now because their entire team's up. So you need to be backing up. I know you can crush those turrets, but yeah. So your time efficiency, you should have done the creep, the wave first, and then the jungle camp, and then left. See, you died for free there. So time efficiency, deny your lane opponent first, and then get deny the jungle if you have time. Look at the death timers on the other team. Your summoner spells too. They're like if they have teleport as well, all that stuff. You need to be tracking and timing it in your chat. I don't think you know right now. I don't even know if he has teleport. I don't even know if Shen's used teleport. I know he's alted, but that's as far as I know. Vagar just needs to back up. He's gonna die. Nice knock up by the Xin there. Your team's still fighting at a disadvantage. Really big ult from Brand. Damn, that was nice. But since they fought at a disadvantage, if Shen lands his taunt, which he did not, you should be able to save him. Good. Okay, so I'm going to we're at the team fighting aspect of the game now. So this is something I'll cover in another one. I want you to really focus on the few things that we talked about in this video because I don't want this to be too long. And then I'll talk to you in a couple days to see how your progress is. I see you made silver 4 because I believe you were bronze whenever we first talked. So congrats on the silver 4. But just try to implement the proper back timings, learning how to trade properly. Like your level 1 this game, you could have easily auto-queued him to get an advantage because your passive would make it a big advantage for you. Learning to play around their cooldowns as well. So Shen has a shield with off of his abilities, which is like 8 to 10 second cooldown, I believe. So once it's down, then you want to trade with them. Um, so just learning those types of details in the game, and then also paying attention to level spikes, not staying in the field with too much gold anymore, because you easily can beat Shen 1 versus 1. You just have to have at least even items. When you're down items, you're going to lose the matchup. It doesn't matter what the matchup is, basically. So if you have the winning matchup, which yours is fairly even, but once you get your Black Cleaver first, and he is Tiamat, you're going to win it as if you have your ultimate up, because you have the offensive ultimate. He does not, but you have to trade around his shield. So I just want you to those 4 things we were talking about. Really work on focusing on getting your farm, knowing how to properly trade with the spacing of your champions that you're playing. Your map awareness, you really need to look at the map awareness. Best example would just be where did the jungler start the game at buff wise, and then you need to get your ward out earlier so you don't have to use your flash like you did earlier, and then you don't overextend and die to him like you did. So both your deaths this time was just you overextending basically because of lack of information, no vision. This one, your time efficiency should have been take the creeps in this lane and then the jungle, and you could have path out, so you could walk the creeps this way, so you could path out easier too. So just try to keep those things in mind as you're progressing in your matchups, and please try to keep to those 3 champions that we talked about as well. I already had it open. Whoops. Try to keep to these 3 champions. So Garen and Urgot are Garen, like I said, is the simplest of the champions, so he'd be um, really good to focus on just like basic mechanics of the game. York is actually, I can already tell right here, York is really good for practicing farming because of his Q, and I can already tell you like your farm difference in the three champions. This is evident right here. And then Urgot is just one of the, he's the strongest of the three champions in the meta right now. So I would really just focus in on playing these three champions primarily. So talk to me in like a day or two and let me know how things are going.